Beijing blasts Tokyo at the United Nations, accusing Japan of threatening armed intervention over Taiwan. Concerts cancelled, trade ties strained, and decades of strategic ambiguity shattered. Japan's survival rhetoric ignites the fiercest diplomatic flare in years. As China doubles down, the question looms: will this spiral into a regional confrontation? China has escalated its feud with Japan to the United Nations, accusing Tokyo of threatening armed intervention over Taiwan in the strongest language yet deployed in the two-week diplomatic crisis. According to a Reuters report, in a letter sent on November 21st to United Nations Secretary-General António Guterres, China's United Nations Ambassador Fu Kong accused Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi of committing a grave violation of international law when she suggested a Chinese attack on Taiwan could trigger Japanese military action.
If Japan dares to attempt an armed intervention in the cross-strait situation, it would be an act of aggression. China would resolutely exercise its right of self-defense under the United Nations Charter and international law.
The strongly worded letter signals Beijing may be preparing for a more aggressive posture toward Japan as tensions over Taiwan reach their highest point in years. The dispute began when Takaichi, a conservative nationalist who took office last month, told Parliament on November 7th that a hypothetical Chinese attack on Taiwan, located approximately 110 kilometers from Japanese territory, could constitute a situation threatening Japan's survival. That legal designation would authorize deployment of Japan's military forces, marking a dramatic departure from Tokyo's traditional ambiguity on Taiwan defense. Japan's Foreign Ministry and Prime Minister's Office had not responded to Fu's United Nations letter by November 22nd, leaving Tokyo's next moves uncertain as the crisis deepens. The diplomatic rupture has spilled into economic and cultural spheres. Chinese authorities say bilateral trade cooperation between Asia's two largest economies has been severely damaged, demonstrating Beijing's willingness to leverage its market power as a weapon. Several Japanese musicians have seen their concerts in China abruptly cancelled without official explanation, though the timing clearly suggests political retaliation. The cancellations reflect a broader pattern of Beijing using cultural exchanges to punish countries whose policies it opposes. The timing amplifies tensions, with 2025 marking the 80th anniversary of Japan's World War II defeat. Beijing has increasingly invoked Tokyo's wartime atrocities and China's role in establishing the post-war United Nations system to bolster its position. China's legal claims rest on the 1943 Cairo Declaration and 1945 Potsdam Declaration, which envisioned Taiwan and other Japanese-occupied territories being restored to Chinese rule. As a permanent Security Council member, Beijing insists these documents provide ironclad sovereignty claims. However, many governments, including Japan and the United States, view the declarations as wartime statements of intent rather than binding legal agreements. This interpretive divide has underpinned decades of strategic ambiguity, which Takaichi's recent remarks have shattered. Taiwan's government flatly rejects Chinese sovereignty claims, insisting only the island's 23 million residents can determine their future. A position gaining traction among younger Taiwanese with no living memory of mainland rule.